Having an all or nothing mindset has been the bane of my existence. At least personality-wise. It's the hardest thing to do because I can only really focus on one simple task. My focus can be on one specific thing, which isn't good because I need to do multiple things at once. I need to go to the gym to keep my body healthy, as well as my mental health healthy. I need to read because it's been a big goal of mine for a very long time. And I need to edit and take my content seriously because it means a lot to me. But apparently my brain can only really focus on one thing. Now, I don't know if I have like OCD or ADHD or all these things. I have a good idea of what I think I have and what I think I don't have. But that's for a doctor to decide. Maybe I'm wrong and maybe you should decide. Maybe the internet should decide on what I don't know. I just have a difficult time doing multiple important tasks in the same phase of my life. Maybe I feel like I'm just wanting to overcompensate for not doing it earlier, you know? Maybe now my brain just wants to focus on this one thing and forget about all the other things for about a month. Which sucks because 2 months ago I was focusing on the gym. Last month I was focusing on editing. And this month I was focusing on reading. So, but my question is, where does it all come from? Like, why do I have it? I know I'm not the only one because I've seen like posts about it. And just know that I'm right there with you. Just know it sucks and I totally understand. I have a really hard time being nice to myself about these things. I put myself down for these things more often than I should. And part of me is because I don't want there to be any wasted potential. Part of me wants to make sure that I push myself but don't push my limits. I have to put my all into it or nothing. Like, for example, lately I've been reading at night. And if I don't read at night, I just wasted my entire night. I wasted my entire afternoon. Maybe I was like doom scrolling on my phone for like 30 minutes. And I was like, why was I doing that? I could have been reading and now I have to spend another day reading because I couldn't control myself and I now have to read for another day. I should have been done with my book 2 days ago, but I guess I'm not because I'm a failure. It's that type of talk and I hate it because it's not that serious. Like, it really isn't. But I know that reading has been something I've been wanting to do for such a long time that putting it off, even for a small bit, is like, I could have done it already. Like, I could have, you know. I think expectations are heavily tied to this. I think my mood and my motivation definitely ties into all the expectations that I have, which sucks because you shouldn't rely on motivation, of course. As we all know, we shouldn't rely on our mood or our motivation to get things done, as we all know. Why do we let it happen? I think it's because we have so much going on that we can't do everything all at once. No one has the secret to all of this. Unless you do, let the people know, because I do need to know. I really do think it's about your habits and kind of like once you have a good steady habits that you really have down, I think that's kind of when it'll all start to come together, and then maybe you can incorporate little other things like multitask daily things. For me personally, I need to get 3 things done in one day, 4 including work. I asked ChatGPT for a schedule because I didn't know how else to do it. I told ChatGPT that I prefer to work out in the mornings and I prefer to read at night. And I told ChatGPT my work schedule and fit editing somewhere into there. Because I also mentioned that I like to get around 8 to 9 hours of sleep or more if possible. I think it'll help me. I haven't tried it out yet, but maybe in the next video I'll let you know how it is if you want to see if it works or not. When I think of an all or nothing mindset, I think of Amy March from Little Women, how she says, I want to be great or nothing. And I deeply feel that in my soul. I want to be great or nothing. It's so frustrating because it is that. I go through stages of life. And a big part of me is like, you can, just because you're not successful or you're not where you want to be, it doesn't mean that you're not successful in these other ways. Now, especially right now in my stage of life, I'm angry because yes, she is right. I want to be great or nothing. And it is so frustrating that social media is so, it plays such a big role into all of this. And before social media, like back when Amy March in the 1700s or wherever that year was taken, it was society. And it's always been a big factor in all these things. And I think that also has a huge influence on all of this. And I think that fuck society and fuck social media and do whatever you want. Personally, never let the haters see you fail. And I don't think haters should be a motivation. I don't think so. I think you being perceived a certain way is slightly a motivation of mine. It's slightly a certain motivation. Maybe it's not healthy. Maybe it is. I don't think it is. But it's something that I personally have struggled with. Like if I'm perceived in a bad way or not the way that I need to be perceived in my head, it's so diminishing. Like I think family plays a huge role also into all of this. A lot of us want to make sure that our families are taken care of, that we have that motivation to make sure we retire our parents, to make sure that they don't have to work hard, long days and hours, and make sure that they can focus on their health. And it's their first time being happy, but they don't even have time to have hobbies or really do what they want to do because all they can focus on is just paying bills and making sure we're okay. And a huge motivation of mine is to make sure that I take care of my parents. They've done so much for me. They've done incredible things for me. And I want to make sure that I live up to the expectation that they didn't come to this country for nothing. I want to make sure that I am successful or nothing. And that sucks. It sucks to have a mindset like that because you have so many expectations on you. This has something to do with that. But I hate wasted potential. Ever since that one audio on TikTok, I hate wasted potential.
That shit.
It makes sense because yeah, I do hate wasted potential because why? Because you could be so many good things. Like you have it all with you. Like why don't you just go for it? You know, like who cares about what people think? Having an all or nothing mindset also comes with the challenges of the smallest interruptions disrupt my entire plan. There is a huge burnout risk. When I try to do too many things at once, I just burn out and I do nothing at all. I just don't want to spread myself too thin, but also I need to apply pressure to maximize productivity. I feel like it's a battle with yourself at all times, and I feel like we need to be kinder to ourselves. So one thing about me, I love structure. So I finally incorporated a few things to give my life a little bit of structure. I haven't started them, but this is what I suggest. I have to start building a habit. If tiny little things don't go right, then that's fine. I have to pivot off of them. Love isn't ruined when perspective is earned. Taylor wrote, love is never lost when perspective is earned. I'm taking that and twisting it into my own way and making it into this video. Hopefully it works. So yeah, if small changes happen, I gotta pivot and I have to work around them, and everything happens for a reason. So I have to remember that maybe something was preventing me from doing that. Maybe something today was preventing me from going to a cafe and editing, and I'm safe here in my home. And I hope that was the case. I need to refine success as progress, not perfection. I want everything I do to be perfect. But perfect is not real. Everything is subjective, especially art and creation. I need to just make sure that it's progressional. And that's something that I really do need to work on, even in my personal life. These, like, my 3 things that I want to work on: reading, gym, and editing. Like, it all needs to be progressional. Also, I need to remember that my 100% is someone's 50% or lower. And remembering that quote literally, it makes me feel better about myself. Remembering that really makes me realize that I am actually in my own bubble. I'm in my own lane. And I have to change the all or nothing to something is better than nothing. Honestly, I just live by quotes, to be honest, because I'm just throwing these out of my ass. So, and I need to really just manage my energy. Managing your energy is something that I'm really big on. Obviously, I'm working on it, as you can see. I've gotten a little bit passionate today. But I need to find ways where I focus, but I need to leave energy for more, you know? But sometimes you just want to pull that door that says push. So going off of that, I think it's important to protect mental space for both discipline and rest. In the past, I've definitely spread myself way too thin, and it's something that I've definitely learned from. And I don't want to go back there again. So I think that finding a balance now that I'm in this all or nothing mindset is really important to me. And that hopefully you can also recognize this within yourself when you are doing too much or not enough. Maybe you understand what habits you're doing and maybe just kind of switch them up slowly but surely. There's no real structure to that. Everything is just really subjective. Like I said beforehand, my 100 could be your 50, your 100 could be my 50. Social media needs to let us know that people are people's 50 too. People need to start showing everyone's their 50. And then, you know, we'll feel better about ourselves. If you guys have any more tips on an all or nothing mindset, let me know. Let me know what you think your route is, and let's just have a conversation about it. I'm excited for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all, and don't forget to love and respect yourself in all ways. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.